everybody.
Yo,
Yes.
yo.
Special treat for y'all. None of us are on camera this week.
It's been a long Monday, but we appreciate you guys rocking out with us in our disembodied faces, I guess. But this
Disembodied
is
everything.
yeah, we're just floating heads. But I did want to start off by saying a quick thank you. Count Balerion of House Tatters sent a super chat before we went live. I'm not able to add it right now because it timed out on our end, but I just wanted to say thank you. He said, join the Discord and watch Hot D with us. So if you don't know, that is GrayArea's Discord. And I feel like Nim, you could probably, touch about that. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I cannot talk today.
Yeah, we have
Speak
a
on that.
Discord server that is an amazing place. We have truly, truly wonderful people there. We have book club every Monday and Thursday at, oh my God, I do this every week now. MJ,
Yes,
it's
you
you.
inception me. I can't help you because I don't know.
7:30 Eastern. Yes, 7:30 Eastern. And we are also watching House of the Dragon in the Discord. If you don't have access to HBO, you can come watch it with us. And we have tourneys every couple of months where you win prizes and play games. It's good fun. Come join us.
Yeet.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I know, it's
Also,
so weird.
I wanted to say, like, if you guys are here from my channel, I apologize. My breakdown is not out yet. I'll get it to you as soon as I can. Love you guys.
Yes, that breakdown is on the way. Speaking of breakdowns, I actually posted a little bit earlier today. I know we're going to get into it in a little bit. A breakdown of the opening credits. So you guys can check that out on my channel, which is at I Eat Zebra. I also have it's linked in the description somewhere as well. But yeah, after you watch this, though, watch this first, then you can watch that later, and then make sure you're subbed to Grace's channel so when her breakdown's live, because it's going to be the best breakdown, obviously. Make sure you watch that, like it, share it, all the good stuff, all the good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch it. Go to her channel and watch it.
Yeah, you guys better do that. We're actually going to do a slightly different format today. We're going to screen share some slides from the episode, since obviously you guys can't see our lovely faces, but we figured it'd be easier for you guys. So, you know us. We don't stay on track. We don't stay on topic. But that's why you guys love us. But today we're going to do that,
We're going to try.
yeah, we're going to try. We're going to try our best. And also, just bear in mind, it's not a slideshow of every single scene of the episode. It's just more or less so you guys know what we're talking about.
I was about to say nobody cares, but there have definitely been people who have proven that they care about.
In fact, they do.
Like, Arah, you forgot the
They care
slide
about
of
so many
this.
things.
You forgot every fact that's ever existed in the world ever. Okay.
My bad. My bad. I do want to say a quick thank you from NJ for the super chat. If you have a question, please drop that in the chat. One of our mods will grab it. You don't have to super chat it again if you do have a question, but just, at one of the mods and they'll grab it for you. Thank you. I guess we can do a couple of quick hellos before we really dive into this episode. We have Kylo Tech in the building. Gray has best breakdowns for show. I completely agree. I think we all kind of agree.
Thank you.
Always
We have
the best breakdowns.
We have Gray Waste Tim in the chat. And then after that, go check out House of Flying D's after show with Tim, as well as David Lightbringer and Girl Nettles. Definitely check them out. They go live after the episodes on Sunday. So if you want an immediate fix, go check them out. Let's see. We got Wolfman989 in the chat. We got Scott Michael Dowling PowerPoint presentation. Yes, it is a PowerPoint presentation. And I tried my best, guys. I tried. Yeah, you'll see. Anyway, we got I'm in pain. Alicia's gorgeous self and the rest of the panel isn't on camera. Sorry. I don't think you want to see what we look like right now, but we appreciate it.
Hey, we left you guys pictures of ourselves.
Yeah.
Look, like Arah said, it's been a rough week so far for all of us. I know it's just Monday, but
it's just Monday, but it feels like a week.
It does feel like a long week. We also have Jackie C in the chat. Yes, go check out GrayArea's channel. We got Jenna S. We have Maud Mary in the chat. We got Tony3483. A Song of Ice fans being pedantic. Well, I never. I think if you guys are on, the Twitters like the rest of us, I think you guys have seen
How we had to act.
Yeah, it was very. I think that's probably why we had such a long weekend.
If you're not on Twitter and you don't follow us on Twitter, you probably should. You'd probably enjoy it.
You probably would.
You would really, really enjoy it. I do want to say, we have another super chat. Thank you, Marcus Jones. What's up, y'all? Good evening. Love the breakdown of the opening credits by Ayat Zebra. Oh, thank you. What's the rest of y'all's opinion on it? Actually, I think that's a good segue for us to just get right into this episode, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I love a good segue.
I do too. Like, I feel like Paul Blart.
Mall cop.
You get me. All right. So obviously I can't play the full thing here, but this is just, screenshot of the first image we see in the opening credits, which if you saw my video, you know that this image we see here in the circle is the doom of Valyria being depicted.
I thought it was just...
They said.
Oh,
what do you think it was?
Is it the doom? I thought it was the doom.
I thought it was dragons fighting each other.
Me too.
Oh, see, I thought it was a doom simply because I like this volcano looking thing here. There's mad dragons. Dragons look all sad. Look at their faces. They're like crying. They're like, oh no.
If you look at it, it kind of does look like Viserys' model. Like he stands in the center there.
Oh,
and it's sort of like around him. It looks like a model of Valyria.
I'm just going to go with y'all's interpretation because I'm not going to lie to you. When I was sitting there watching all the bloodstream, I was like, what is that? What is that?
Like, probably 5 to 7 seconds into the beginning, I started screaming, oh my God, it's a family. I got so excited. I woke my kid up. I was so excited.
I was super dense last night, so I'm sorry I couldn't keep up. But
so, a lot of people didn't catch it though, because it's very subtle.
It really is. So it's essentially.
You know what? It probably. Oh, I'm sorry. I just had a brain flash. It probably is the doom because when Game of Thrones shows their images in their credits, it's like it shows the doom, it shows Robert's Rebellion, and it shows something else. Robert getting crowning. Yeah, Robert getting crowned. Mm-hmm. So it shows what happens before where we are. So this is what happened before.
Yeah.
I guess I was so hyper-fixated.
I just want to quickly say. So in my breakdown, I'm not going to go through all of them here because that's what my breakdown was for. But essentially, each of these little circles that fills up with blood eventually represents a different member of the Targaryen family. However, they're only, from my interpretation of it, they're only showing the members of the family that are essentially our direct ancestors of the current players in the show. So this, when it fills up with blood, this looks like Aegon's crown. So I assume this was Aegon the Conqueror. He was a founder of their house, and that's why he's the first one. I thought when the whole thing fills up with blood, if I'm remembering correctly, and I was hyper fixated on other things like the music, and look, having ADHD is not an easy life. But from what I saw, when you are an heir, your little thing flips up. Your little circle okay, not an eloquent day. The podium raises up. Yeah, it raises up. And then I figured if you had children, that's when it filled with blood. But I could be wrong.
That was the bloodline of the kings is what they were showing.
Yeah.
Besides Maegor. Maegor's not in there.
Because his descendants
for my interpretation.
Yeah. Because he didn't have any children. His descendants didn't take the throne. He had no descendants.
Didn't go through his line. It went from his over to
Aenys.
Oh my God. Aenys, thank you.
Yeah. Jesus, and I guarantee when Rhaenyra finally has Jace, hers is going to fill up with blood and go to Jace.
I
and her kids.
agree. I don't know why I said it that way. I definitely agree. Quick question for you, since you brought up the music. How did you guys feel about hearing the same theme song as Game of Thrones?
You know, honestly, at first I was like, these broke bitches. They honestly just I really thought it was them just not putting any care or effort into it. But then I was like, no, it's the complete opposite. I'm sure listen, Ryan Condal is a fan, first and foremost, before anything else. I think he knew. We wanted that feeling back of the HBO, like, oh,
The nostalgia.
and then the bum bum ba da dum. But he knew we wanted that.
Man,
Sorry.
when that fucking beat dropped, I lost it. Almost fell off the bed. Like I was like, yes.
Nice
You know that
soul came
meme
out
of
of my
that boy
body.
turning that music all the way up.
Yes.
Literally.
Crying and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked
See,
it. At first,
I thought I wanted a new theme because I thought it would like make it feel different from Game of Thrones. But as soon as I heard it, I got excited all over again, and I was happy they kept it.
Yeah.
I was too.
It took me a good 20 seconds to adjust, but
I think I learned after the whole like Proud Family reboot that sometimes redoing the theme song with a new person just isn't the best decision in the world, especially if your like theme song was perfect. So I think they learned that lesson. Obviously, different studios. I'm not sure if Ramin Javadi watches Proud Family reboot, but if he did, I think he'd have been like, "No, what? Let's stick with what we know." But
John Lang said, "Not gonna lie, I squealed. I did too. I squealed a little. It was very exciting."
It was so exciting. I do want to get to a couple of these super chats we have from Khalees FL. Love what y'all are doing. GrayArea breakdown and storytelling is amazing. I think we all agree.
Khalees.
We also have another super chat from Jenna S. I wish we get a House Dane sigil. I want to see them eventually in something. When, who knows, but maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, okay. We have another super chat from Ijovi. Thank you for putting that in there because I was so sorry I was not pronouncing that correctly last week. Was Allison in on middle fingers? Oh, so if you guys don't know, middle finger is Otto Hightower. On middle fingers
that
scheme.
Fucking conniving bitch. Oh, God.
Did she know she was at the King's Chamber to bend the knee? Oh my gosh. Or did she truly believe she was only there to help him grieve?
I think judging by the way she was so uncomfortable and nervous, she knew exactly what her father was asking of her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was like, if you wish it.
I
will do it.
She actually had a so in the I stay plugging them, the official Game of Thrones House of the Dragon, podcast. They had Emily Carey on, who plays young Alicent, and she was saying that with her character, I guess her character tends, when it comes to duty versus the heart, she listens to Maester Aemon and she goes with duty. So for her, she's like, I know what I have to do. I may not want to do it, but I have to do it. So I'm pretty sure she knew exactly what her dad was intending by, slip on your mama's dress, do your duty by your family, and go,
She knew from the moment he asked her that we saw in that first scene. He knew from the moment she asked her to put on her mother's dress because she paused and then her walk changed. She knew.
She looked scared to death.
Yeah, and her voice was cracking, talking to him, and
could you imagine having to fuck that man?
Yeah. Oh, with his back boo boo and his
rotty with like his finger falling off and all stores.
Pustules, goiters everywhere.
Just throw me off Mayor's hold fast, please. I can't do it.
Can't I just be shocked?
Actually, it's funny you guys brought that up. Speaking of ugly people, I shouldn't say ugly people. People that are a little challenged by weird, I don't know, lepers. We're just going to talk about this fella here.
Girl, first of all, he has grayscale.
Yes.
Very visible grayscale. He does not hide it.
Okay, am I stupid because I forgot about Grayscale for a second? And when I was looking at him, I'm like, what's wrong with your face?
What's wrong with his face? You can see like right here on his chin, like some of the grayscale.
At first, I thought he just had really bad sunburn when I first saw it, and then I was like, "Oh, why
He's been in
is
stepstones too long.
he okay?"
I thought it was a drowned god aesthetic. I was like, interesting, work it. All right.
I wonder if the damp hair would like that, but
yeah, he's definitely got some crusty crusts going on.
Okay, so I have just kind of had a thought. There's a quote-unquote foreign invader with Grayscale making their way towards Westeros. Do you think maybe this might be part of the like old story mimicking the new story?
ooh, like wait, if by old story, are we talking about like books John Con or show
Right,
like
I'm
Jorah?
talking books John Con.
Oh, I would like that.
I think he does make his way to Dragonstone just because in the previews, you know how it shows somebody in this like cavernous tunnel and you see like this flash of light that's clearly dragon fire. And it looks like this tall person who has a silhouette quite like his. But if you look at the head, the silhouette of the head matches that horn,
that mask,
the ear coming off the... Yeah. So I think he kind of tries to go for a dragon egg. Or
if there's a way
So
I could have added that to the
I'm wondering
slideshow,
if when all is said and done, if their stories are going to mimic each other.
I would like that. I think that's
I mean, there's a lot of really good story from the books that Game of Thrones didn't get to touch down on. So it's not like timeline wise, it wouldn't be canonical, but who gives a shit?
Yeah. Oh, I do want to say we got another... Same. I got another super chat. Well, we got another super chat here from the movie buff. Matt Smith is so amazing, and little Lena was so adorable. I'm excited to see her in action soon. I don't know why I said action soon. Action soon. Jeez Louise, I cannot talk today.
Matt Smith has absolutely been killing this role.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to shout out real quick this meme that, or what wasn't even a meme, it was a tweet. That Caraxes, now in my headcanon, his name is the Throat Goat.
Oh, I saw that.
I saw someone tweet it. I can't remember her name, but yeah. Girl.
Did you see Eliana did the solitaire cards?
Yeah, the solitaire cards. His neck is so long. And his little, it sounds like he has asthma, like when he's like squealing.
He's the cutest, squeakiest.
No, let me tell you about the tweets that I saw because
yeah,
the tweets I saw were sending me because they were they were sending me because they were all talking about, as a group, they were talking about Caraxes and his neck and his little rar. And they were saying, they're like, damn, the way Daemon tosses around eggs, no wonder Caraxes turned out deformed.
Oh my god.
I shouldn't have laughed that loud. I'm so sorry. That was like, oh no, I'm sorry. Swagger Dagger, you killed me here. Caraxes and Nancy Reagan, the two throat goats.
Oh god.
Crotus. Yes.
Oh,
Caraxes looks like Mushu. But yeah, I guess sorry.
Back to the super chat. Can we just acknowledge that Lena is super fucking cute, and that the way she was adorable. Asking, well, where's Vhagar? Where is she?
I loved it. And then dragons get lonely too. She's so stinking cute.
And it's like it's so canon of like book canon Lena, because they say like Lena really didn't care about boys. Like she wanted to ride dragons and that's it, and fly. She wanted she cared about dragons and flying, and that's it.
Is that one of the stills, Arah?
Sorry, Kiri is cracking me up.
Well, I mean,
put Kiri's message up there.
Founding fathers with.
Oh,
I do have a picture of Lena here, but I gotta go in order, and I don't want to like jump.
Right.
Oh wait, no, I can jump. I figured it out. Haha.
Well, no, I think we should. Oh, that poor baby.
Oh yeah. She does look like she could be on a quarter in Driftmark. for
It's
sure.
like that TikTok account where the guy dances around with the like missing toes out of his dress shoes. Like, I'm sorry, I can't be your man. That one. She's a fucking fan.
I just want to like, I
I
don't
wanted
know,
more
something
for
about
her.
this makes me want to start singing Alexander Hamilton songs.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Wow.
That
I just
poor
want
Yeah.
baby, be nice.
I want more for her, but we'll. All right, let's.
So cute.
We'll get more into
Wigs
that
have
too,
not been their strong suit in the past
at
They never
all,
have
at
been.
all.
No.
except
Yeah.
Daenerys. Daenerys
So
looks
we're
great.
grateful that Danny's wigs have
Snatched.
always been snatched.
And I was
Please.
worried about the more textured hair wigs, but I think Corliss's looks fantastic,
Yeah.
Oh,
and it
pause.
has in every scene.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say pause to you, but yes, I agree. I was saying pause to my brain, and I thought I didn't mean to say it out loud. But I wanted to point out this comment from Nuncle. Is that a broken harpy mask?
I saw that.
Is it?
You know,
Well,
It kind of looks like it. They
no,
have those little
it's
spikes.
yeah,
Marine's not
it's more
part of this,
beast-like
though.
than
I thought it
What
was
if
a
it's-
kitten mask.
what
I
if
thought he
it's
was gonna like.
schmelted?
right.
I thought
Like,
it was
it's like a
schmelted
kitten
It's
mask.
more
He's down with
it's
some real
giving me
freaky
more
shit.
Phantom of the Opera than harpies.
See, I
You
think he's just
know, like his name is
dipped in
Eric.
some kind of metal.
I just thought he was into freaky stuff.
Eric.
I think he is into freaky stuff. Actually, speaking of freaky stuff, I again, guys, y'all just gonna have to deal with this slideshow, not having all the slides. But I wanted to get into the small council meeting since they are talking about this fella here. But we open up with finding out
Wine.
that Sir Ryan red wine, as a glass of wine is being poured, is dead. So there's a new opening.
Wait,
for the King's
can I talk about one more thing regarding the crab feeder?
Yes.
I could have gone without seeing those little crabbies just feasting upon that dude's
Feeding
butt.
people
Yo, when that
alive.
foot moved, I saw like the tendon move. I was like, Jesus.
I know.
So
I
fun
jumped and
fact.
then I
Sorry.
like yelled, "He's still alive!" It would be insufferable. Just yikes.
Yeah, I had that picture and I literally was like, I'm not putting this up there. I can't put this up there. That's so gross. But yeah, this was the most I was gonna do because this is actually
There
the
was
last
no
shot.
scene that wasn't utterly grotesque.
Involving this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first I was like, why that still? And then I'm like, oh yeah, because there was no
Right.
non-graphic.
That's the only one that's like even somewhat suitable. Everything else
I mean,
has
you could
ocean
have shown
spiders
his
and
crusty ass
detached
chin,
limbs.
but you know.
Ugh.
Can I just say, I just want to get this next super chat because it is hilarious. Philip Blackfire, thank you. I really don't understand what Viserys thought Otto's whole ass was going to do without a dragon. And then going to see why Lena was the best choice of wife. Can we get him off the throne, please? Like, I have thoughts on Viserys' decision. And I feel like when everybody, we're going to obviously get through it throughout the episode, but how everybody's like, yeah, no, Lena's a great choice. Lena's a great choice. But I think for him, he already had his mind made up that it was going to be Alicent, and he was hoping somebody would talk him out of it. And the only person that did was like Otto. But everybody else.
I
was
think
like,
the opposite. I think he was waiting for someone to openly suggest it.
oh,
So it didn't look like his idea, and then it didn't happen, and he had to do it himself because Viserys is weak. He's a coward.
It was so stupid.
Okay, speaking of that. Oh, I'm sorry, MJ. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it was so stupid. Like Alicent Hightower, bless her, but she doesn't bring anything to the table that he needs right now.
She's boring.
That she is,
She's
and
just-
like she doesn't. She like they don't have like House Hightower isn't known for like having coin. House Hightower does not have dragons. They do not have Valyrian blood. And I went back and looked. Viserys is the first king to marry a not Targaryen other than Maegor. But Maegor was just... It's Maegor. It's Maegor.
And see, I thought that was an interesting touch with like Otto's... I want to say like his... What's the word I'm looking for? Alisha, help. Words.
Why me?
She does
manipulation.
he does this with me all the time. Aspirations. What's the other one?
Ambition.
Anyway, Otto's ambition, sorry, words are hard today, to him turning around and like scolding Rhaenyra basically for choosing Kristen Cole. And he's like, he doesn't bring anything to the table. These guys are more like, oh my God, I'm really
Political, like it's a
struggling
better
right now.
political.
They're better political allies.
Prestigious.
They
Yeah.
bring something to the table. It's a better bargain for the crown.
Can you
And
please put
it
Jinx's
was
comment?
so much hypocrisy.
Keep talking, Mandy. I'm sorry. I
Jinx
just wanted.
is
I
here?
didn't want to
Hi,
lose Jinx's
Jinx.
comment.
Hi, Jinx.
He makes a point.
This one, he forced his wife to die because her role is to produce an heir, but he refused to live up to the equivalent expectations.
Yes,
Yeah, he's trash.
that part.
Though,
Yeah.
okay, can we talk about
Thank you,
that
Jinx, for
scene
words.
with the maggots when
Oh.
the Maester and Otto were like, that reminded me so much of the first season when Catelyn and Maester Luwin were giving opposite opinions to Ned Stark about whether or not he should go to King's Landing. It gave me those really, really big vibes, like repeating all over again.
Yeah, and that's who Viserys reminds me of, Ned.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
you're
really
not cut out for
politically.
this. Everyone
Right.
sees it. You're not cut out for this fucking shit. And I had said, like, him denying Lena and marrying Alicent is equivalent to what Ned telling Cersei, yeah, I know your kids aren't Robert's, they're Jaime's bastards. And then he fucking dies. So I see the similarities there. And now that you guys are saying with the whole Maester Luwin, that scene did look like that. That scene does bring back those vibes. But another thing that a commenter said on Twitter was he has Robb Stark vibes, with Robb Stark just like supposed to be marrying a Frey, but
you
just
said commenter, not commenter.
I thought she did too.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
guys, I'm from Baltimore. I got a heavy accent. I'm sorry, but it's supposed to be marrying whatever, a Frey, any Frey, and instead marries Westerling, Jean Westerling.
Jane.
It's just a
Jane.
It's Jane.
and it's like there's like no political advantage to that. And when you're the king, I know like in modern society it's more commonplace now, and by modern society I mean like really like within probably like the last 100 years, it's been more common for people to marry for love and not really for political arrangements or, you know, advancement. Even though, don't get me wrong, there are still cultures out there that do practice arranged marriages.
Yeah.
And in this case, because I know we can get into a little bit later when we get like really into that scene, it's just a bad political move to, as Lionel Strong says later, it's just a really bad political move. Like,
Right,
it's
and that's
bad
the other
idea.
comparison to Ned and Robb, is just literally every wrong move they could have made.
Yeah. And the only person that I've seen that married for love, where their relationship actually worked out, was Queen Rhaenys and Corlys Velaryon. They actually, their marriage wasn't arranged, but it was approved. But Jaehaerys wouldn't approve that marriage had it not been Corlys fucking Velaryon.
Oh, definitely. And if Corlys didn't, as he says, like build his house up, it definitely still wouldn't have even been arranged, probably.
Yes.
Because she's a very big bargaining chip, and it's kind of fudged that in that society, that's how women were treated. But hey, context of the world, what you gonna do? I do want to say a quick thank you to, we have a few more super chats. Do you, from the movie Buff, thank you again. Do you believe Melisandre will make a cameo in future seasons?
I hope so.
I saw Cerise, what's her name? Cerise Houghton. I'm probably pronouncing her last.
Van Houten.
Thank you. I forgot, probably, yeah. Her playing Melisandre. She did say she would, that Melisandre is very old. So I did tweet, I would love to see her as Alice Rivers, which has been like a really big fan theory. I know when we did our Witches of Westeros stream ages ago, which is in a playlist on this channel somewhere, I forgot who mentioned it. One of you lovely ladies mentioned it, that maybe Alice Rivers is Melisandre, and I would just like that to be true now.
If she shows up at Harrenhal, my soul will leave its body. I will go to work the next day and tell people who have never even heard of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon all about it. I will not shut up.
Did y'all see that? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Who?
I do want to say another quick thank you. To I love how Rhaenys ignores Rhaenyra's obvious shade. Ho, a term of endearment, by the way. The small council rejected you, not all women. See,
So, okay,
I had thoughts about when she said that, but I think I'll probably expand later.
Rhaenyra thought she could play with the big girls when she
Oh, yeah.
snapped back at Rhaenys,
Mhm.
because when Rhaenys said, "Do you remind your father's men of that when you pour their cups or whatever like that?" I was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
Got him. Like,
You know,
What-
and that's the thing. It was so, for Rhaenyra to be like, "No, they bent the knee to me." That was really arrogant, because the small or like the Council of 101, yeah, they chose Viserys, but it's not like if they were given a choice between Rhaenyra and another claimant, they would choose Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
You know, so that was her kind of like, I think she was ignoring the fact that Rhaenys was trying to give her good counsel, no matter how sharp it seemed.
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, speaking of council and pouring cups, let's get back to that small council meeting that I forgot to pull an image
Yes.
for. But so we find out Ryan Redwine from the King's God is dead. However, as they're discussing that, my papa walks in and is like, 4 ships, just straight to business, have been attacked. One flying his own banners from this fella here, this guy, Kragas Crab Feeder. And he wants Viserys to do something about it.
Which is very reasonable.
Very reasonable. And Otto's bitch ass says, "Don't worry, we'll give you money for the dead men."
Can we
I don't want
just?
that shit.
Yeah.
I want you to do some shit. Okay, slight rabbit trail here. I am, just because when those doors opened, you could actually see people walking around in the back. Can we talk about how this show is actually like, oh, it's a castle with court and people walking by? We think we'll actually put human beings in these halls that don't have lines. I do love that. Anyway,
Not just empty hallways.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of hustle and bustle. But anyway, no, I loved Corley's walking in because he owned that room. And you could see the jealousy just fuming off of Otto. Just fuming off of him. They're clearly threatened. I don't think Corley's is threatened by Otto.
No, I think he wants to kill him. And I
Who
stand that.
among us doesn't?
You want to kill Otto?
It's just the way it's so blatantly obvious to anyone watching that he is a fucking cancer, because every time something is brought up,
The
every
Zodiac
time,
sign too.
Not that kind, Alisha.
I think he's that too. I think he's a cancer.
every time like something of importance is brought up or a good idea is I didn't understand why when Rhaenyra was like hey, we have dragons, send your dragon riders. So the dragon riders, of course, are her, Rhaenys, which would be Corlys's wife, and Daemon.
Yep.
So those are the dragon riders, and everyone on the council is just looking around like all confused. And she's like, it'll be a show of force. And Otto's like, actually, don't you have something else you could be doing? Let's find something.
It's like Ever After when
Oh,
Angelica
keep
Houston is
singing.
like, why don't you go catch a chicken?
Yeah, go count the straws of hay in the barn. Like, what the fuck? I felt like she made a point.
And I like that Corlys points out, like, well, at least the princess got the right of it. Like, I think the thing is obviously, for those that may not be familiar, during Jaehaerys's reign, there was relative peace. So a lot of these elder men have never known war. They've never fought.
Yeah.
Otto's never been in a battle. He's never commanded forces. He does not know what war looks like. Another person on the small council that also kind of agreed with Otto, which was Beesbury, who I love. But he also was saying, like, maybe we should kind of like not do that just yet. And then Viserys is like, yeah, I sent letters to, the free cities to see if maybe they would want to come to peace. And it's like,
The way
I'm
he
with
was
Rhaenyra.
so
Send a
proud, like he
dragon.
did
Send
something.
send a dragon to do that instead of some random Joe Schmo from court. Send a dragon rider to do that. Like, imagine Rhaenys pulling up on Melees to the free cities, like,
Landing on
hey,
the wall of Atlantis.
oh my gosh, like, you need to get your boy out of here, or I will light this whole city up.
The way though, Otto like just so instantly shut that down, and I think it was for multiple reasons. He wanted Rhaenyra as heir. I don't know about in the show, but definitely in the books. But he always knew Rhaenyra could easily be put out of the way, or so he thought. If Rhaenyra starts proving her worth, that's a problem for him.
Yeah.
Like if she starts like, actually proving she has merit, she's going to be that much more hard to replace. He wanted to shut that down. Twofold, he knew that Viserys would consider bringing Daemon back into the fold. And if Daemon has a skirmish to occupy himself with, Viserys is very much going to check off on that.
Yeah.
So I mean, Otto just can't have the two reconciling with each other, as we will see later in the episode. But I mean, Otto was like, sorry, Otto was just not having any of it, and the way he just belittles everybody around him, speaks over everybody, and it's so funny, he projects so much onto Corlys, being like, you're overreaching. Corlys comes in and he's addressing the king. He's addressing the king, and Otto is like, how dare you speak to it wasn't even like that. It was just like, you're above, you're rising above your station. The king invites you to his table, and like, Viserys is totally Otto's bitch.
Yeah. Otto's and Otto's like a dick rider. Like, he's like a yes. I never want anyone around me like that ever.
Yeah.
Eliana said Otto is overreaching, hence the reach. But
LMFAO. I just want to say, sorry, quick thank you for the super chat from Steve, commenter here for all of it. I'm assuming this is related to the way Gray says commenter. Or also I want to say another thank you to Philip
meant
Blackfire.
Commenter. I just have a bad slip. I'm from Baltimore.
From Philip Blackfire. Rhaenyra said, and it's just an idea, second Harrenhal. And I agree with my good sis. And I think to your point earlier that Rhaenyra is proving that she is politically adept and not so easily replaceable, which brings us to this scene after she gets told to, I don't know, go choose a Kingsguard or something. Like, I don't know, make yourself useful by Sir Otto, who can go fuck himself. But yeah.
It's not the worst task to be appointed, but it was still very dismissive. It's an important task, but the point of it was
the way she was told to go do it was very like demeaning.
Hey, do y'all remember like 3 months ago when we were looking at this exact shot and we were trying to figure out what the fuck those little figurines were?
But one of you guys did call it though.
In my notes. I have this in my notes because what I wrote down is that those are like Arah said, they're from the different regions, right, of Westeros. But what Otto says right afterwards is, like I said before, they're choosing a knight that will benefit the crown's relation to that particular area of the realm.
Yeah.
And I think this is a visual representation of that.
He was like, oh, he's too low born. Shut the fuck up.
So are you, bitch. But here you are, bitch.
Right.
I hate that they're both right, though. Like, Otto obviously doesn't know he's right, and fuck him anyways. But, like, Rhaenyra obviously was right that a seasoned knight should be the one protecting the king and later the queen, right? Mm-hmm. But the whole time Otto's like, no, don't pick him. I was like, no, don't pick him. Because he's
no spoilers.
Also a cunt. So I just, it's hard when Otto's right. It's real hard.
She kind of reminded me of Visenya in that scene where, and by Visenya, obviously I'm talking about Aegon's wife, the one whose idea it was to have a Kingsguard, because she was like, look how easily I could have attacked you, and what were these people supposed to do? So when Rhaenyra is like, none of these people. So the two people that at least were mentioned were Desmond Karen and Sir Ryman Mallister. And neither of the, like, essentially everybody besides Kristen Cole was like attorney knight. No one ever fought in any type of battles.
The way he was like, I almost caught a poacher. Yes.
He was like, and she's like, anybody seen any war besides like catching poachers?
She
the way
sent
she said
me.
it, she was
Hunting
disgusted.
squirrels.
Essentially, I mean, she's got a point though, because it's like, granted, obviously, this is like I just said, it's like a relative time of peace. So Dorne at the time was not a part of the Seven Kingdoms, so the Stormlands and Dorne. So when people say the Dornish marches, that's just the border of the Stormlands and Dorne. So yeah, there's a lot of skirmishing going on, a lot of beef. So I meant to ask you guys, do you guys think Sir Kristen Cole's like half Dornish in the show?
Well, they call him Dornish at the tournament.
Yeah.
Isn't
so
Dondarrion? Isn't House Dondarrion and Dorne?
Yes.
No, it's
the
Stormlands.
Stormlands.
The Dornish marches. The Dornish marches are still the Stormlands, but okay, it's like El Paso, Texas, is still Texas, but demographically, it's predominantly Mexican.
Oh, Swagger Dagger said they made his mother Dornish for the show.
I knew it. Where'd it go?
That was a
I thought
horrible
it.
example, but you know what I mean. El Paso, Texas is okay. El Paso,
I
Texas
was thinking of, I was more or less thinking, like, when I hear March, I always think of King Edward IV from the Wars of the Roses, because before that he was in charge of the marches between Wales and England.
Girl
Sorry,
knows her
guys.
English history.
I do, surprisingly. I blame George, because I was like, oh, that's kind of okay. Then he's like, yeah, it's inspired by the Words of the Roses. I was like, oh, let's dig through history, see what we can find. And I just got obsessed after that. But anyways.
I wanted to mention very quickly to Edward Martin, where he said Dorne is brown. There's actually 3 demographics of Dornish. There's the rocky, the sandy, and the salty. And the rocky Dornish are very pale and all looking. And then the sandy are darker complected, and the salty are darker and squatter. So there's different demographics within Dorne rather than just Dorne equals brown, which is a common misconception because of how they've been portrayed on the shows.
So it's almost as if canonically Black people live in Westeros.
They sure do. Isn't that wild?
Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? And also, I think a common thing in Dorne is most people that live there, besides Quentin Martell, are hot. So
poor Quentin.
Poor Quentin. Shout out to Emmett. But whenever I say poor Quentin, I always just think of Emmett. But I just want to say a quick little thank you to this Snapchat. Jesus, Bryce.
Could I please answer it when you're finished reading it?
Yeah, I didn't say that out loud. Anyways, from Cosa Nostra. It's weird how people call Otto low-calorie Tywin because he's stepping with some big D energy and he's saying everything with his chest to everyone.
So I don't find it big D energy. I find it very Putin-esque energy where you're really loud and banging on your chest because you're really fucking weak. Because when it comes time for him to back it up, which we see in this episode,
sheath your fucking steel.
Everybody sheath your fucking steel.
You know the guys who hang the metal testicles on their trailer hitch?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Otto.
Like Tywin never talked shit to people. He never talked shit to people. He would sit there and listen, let people drag their chair, like Tyrion dragging that chair all the way down the table. Like
because he wasn't threatened by anyone.
He wasn't. He knew if shit popped off, he would kill your whole fucking house and he wouldn't care about it, or your babies and he wouldn't care about it. But he never had to do that. Like, he sent the king to bed. He sent him. The king is tired.
I guarantee Tywin would have gotten that dragon egg back without the interception of Rhaenyra.
Yeah. And I
guarantee in the show, if Tywin were still alive, even in the books, when when Daenerys made her way or makes her way to Westeros, I guarantee Tywin would have found a way to deal with it. 100%. Otto, see, I don't. Okay, I'm not ragging on anyone. It's just that I don't think that Otto and Tywin should be compared to one another at all, because there were dozens upon dozens of hands of the king throughout, Westeros, throughout the Targaryen reign / Robert's reign, whatever.
I'm sorry.
And really, their position is the only thing that they have in common. We talked about it. Tywin is not threatened by other people. Otto is. Tywin has lied about things, but he's really upfront with everybody.
I got one
his
for you
biggest
guys.
deception. His biggest deception was the sacking of King's Landing. Aside from that, he lets his intentions be known. Now, he's secretive, but that's not the same as lying. He lets people speak. He doesn't have to resort to overt manipulation isn't overt, but he doesn't have to resort as much to manipulation. I do not think Tywin and Otto are anything alike. I think they both just so happen to be Hand of the King. And the thing is, most hands of the king were constantly trying to push their daughter off onto a higher station.
Oh, but I'm going to cut you off before you continue. I wanted to say, before I lost my train of thought, know who he reminds me of? Unwin Peak.
Yes. Oh my God, he was crossing
Otto
my mind as
and
I was
Unwin Peak.
Yes.
So we're going to get
spoilers,
Unwin Peak. Yeah, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but Unwin Peak is going to pop up in later seasons of the show.
I'm going to tell you, to me, the different, what separates Otto and Tywin in this episode. In this episode, had Tywin been in Otto's seat when Lord Corlys came in there, Tywin always plays steps ahead. So Tywin would have known, I'm going to get him to marry Cersei. So this guy's already going to be mad when that happens. So let's give him what he wants in the Stepstones. That's what Tywin would. Tywin would have sent him, all right, we're going to give you money. We're going to give you a dragon. Take Daemon with you. Go to the Stepstones and handle your business. And when they came back from the Stepstones, Cersei and Viserys would have been married.
Right.
There wouldn't have been no second counsel about it. He would have got him out of the way by giving him something that he wants that also makes the realm a more safer place and helps him further his plot to have his daughter married to the king. Otto ain't thinking that far ahead. Otto's just like,
oh, my daughter needs to fuck the king, though.
It's funny that you said that. That brings me to the super chat from Kylo Tech. Thank you. Otto got to be giving Bomb side head because I just don't understand how he so easily controls the king. I have to agree because we don't know.
Because Viserys is weak and
he's
he
a
considers
hand.
him the king calls him my dear Otto. Like the king considers him just this great friend. And who knows? Maybe Otto's throwing ass. Who knows? And good for them if that's the case. But I mean, it's very. Was it you I was talking to, MJ, when you said you saw someone equate Otto to Rasputin?
Yeah, it was me.
I mean, he's definitely got that nasty ass beard to boot. But I mean, it just. I need to stop. I need my eyeballs to stop witnessing Tywin and Otto comparisons, because that's like saying Ned Stark and Tywin. Oh yes, similarities.
Yeah, I think it's just the hand position that brings the comparison. But when you actually look at that, there's no comparison. You cannot compete where you do not compare.
Exactly. Also, I want to say thank you, Wendy Nerd IZ. Oh, thank you. Wendy's hilarious.
You savage.
Yes.
Wendy was helping
you savage
charge of the
bitch.
weekend. You guys aren't aware of our weekend activities, but
I think everyone here is aware of our weekend activities.
Just check our Twitters. Check Twitter.
Girl.
We do have another super chat from Philip Blackfire I want to get to before we get back into the scene we're looking at a little bit here. From Philip Blackfire, let's stop the Tywin, Cersei, Otto, Allison comparisons. Tywin ran that realm for half his life, and Cersei sat her ass on that throne. In Gray Area's words, those up-jumped biatches from Old Town could never.
He watched my Allison video. Thank you.
Could never. So actually, so in the scene, essentially, we kind of got through most of it. Chris and Cole.
There he is.
He's so cute. God.
There he is.
If so evil, why so cute?
I know,
Right?
right?
He does not do it for me. I don't
His
know.
face never did
Girl,
anything
me
wrong
either.
ever. It's just the rest of him that's just a shithead.
I like his hair, but I can't wait to see Harwin
said,
strong. Oh my
He's
god,
he's one of the few. He's one of the few white guys that could get it.
I can't wait
just
for
saying.
Harwin strong. That's all I'm gonna say. With that being
I
said,
believe he's half Middle Eastern.
Oh,
That checks out.
I think that was what I read.
Well then.
Alicia's immediately interested. Okay.
all right. So moving on, we have Viserys and his lovely Lego set. That
His stupid ass dragon.
It's so sad.
The
right?
only other dragon he'll ever
So-
have.
I'm not gonna lie. So the fact that he kind of says in this scene, so this is like when he's like talking with Alicent, but he mentions how he essentially just read through the books from Valyria and kind of looked at like the plans of that capital city that they had, and he kind of just like, I'm assuming, sketched it out and had the stonemasons build all of this.
Yeah, that's
Which
what
I'm
I
like,
got from it.
That's a cute
Yeah.
hobby.
Okay,
It's like
pause.
Legos.
Pause. You owe me a pause. I love you. But that structure that we're looking at in the middle left, like far to the left here, looks so much like Dragonstone. I'm just now realizing that Dragonstone has Valyrian architecture.
And that thing behind him looks like the dragon pit in the show.
And it's funny you guys say that, because in this scene he says that the capital city was built to a volcano like Dragonstone.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they modeled a lot of their architecture after some of the old Valyrian stuff.
Well, Dragonstone was built while Valyria was still at its height, so
Yes.
Dragonstone is more accurate.
Yes.
Valyria.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was interesting. He mentions this thing called the Onogrian. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's where the blood mages worked their craft, and that the dragon lords all kind of resided in this like big citadel area within the capital that was closest to like the mouth of a volcano where they got all their power from. So I'm like, okay, continue, sir. Like, where's the expanded version of this? Can I read that book? Like, can you slide that over?
I'm disappointed
me?
because
'Cause I
I
wanna
saw
know.
a few people, and I'm so sorry that I can never remember who comes up with these theories. Maybe it's something I should start writing down. But I saw someone theorize when we were looking at stills and we saw this, model of Valyria, that Viserys was doing it from memory, from being bonded with Balerion. Because Balerion was the last living creature that had ever seen Valyria. So he was doing all of this from his memory of like Balerion's memories that they had like fused together or some crap. Like, I don't know. It was a loaded theory, but I loved it. And to hear Viserys say, "Oh, I pore over the books," it was just a really womp moment for me, because I wanted that theory to be true.
Yeah, and I think it's in this scene that he's like, "I'd rather face Balerion the Black Dread than my daughter," but didn't you? Like,
okay, I think that's him admitting that he mounted Balerion because he was an old, tired, done.
Because he was a decrepit.
Talk about this.
Wait, didn't he mount Balerion after he got back from Valeria with Arya?
Yeah.
So like Balerion was like all injured and like
Valerion's like, "I'm not going there again." Fuck that shit.
And
you know what Balerion was like? You know the dog in Family Guy? Herbert or whatever, the one that just drags. No, the one.
Oh, Herbert's dog.
Jesse.
Yeah,
his name is Jesse.
Okay, Balerion was like Jesse toward the end of his life. I bet.
Yes.
About this scene, the dragon breaks, and we know it later gets repaired by Allison. Yeah, somebody was like, on Twitter. I don't remember who. I can't ever remember who it was because I see so much good shit on Twitter. Like, you guys just go off. But they were like, oh, she repairs this dragon and another dragon. And it's like supposed to be like representation of her repairing Viserys. I was just like, oh, okay. But I do want to say, I know who said this because I seen it and I retweeted it and liked it. And it was LML, and he was talking about how Viserys is relatable to him because you kind of want to, like, you want to please everybody. Like, he has that, he's like a people pleaser. So he doesn't want to make anybody upset. He wants to just go with the flow, not have any discourse. And I'm not gonna say I'm like that, but I'm kind of like that. Like, well, once I pop, the fun don't stop. But I do like give people way more of the benefit of the doubt than I should, and I don't like drama and stuff like that. So I get why he doesn't. But honey, Sir Otto, even though I'm like that, Sir Otto, I'd have slapped them. He's a Pisces.
I just realized Viserys is a Pisces.
No,
but
or he has a Pisces moon.
Listen. Here's the thing about Pisces, because
I don't like
this tendency to. Listen to me. Okay, you search your heart, and you know this to be true. The thing about Pisces is we will give chance, and I say we, so I'm ragging on my own sign now. For those of you that think I hate every sign I mention ever, I can be like, Virgos are great, and there are going to be people in the comments that are going to be like, oh, why do you hate Virgos, Alisha? Anyway, Pisces will give chance after chance after chance after chance, but when we're done with you, we are done with you more than any other sign, so it balances out.
Viserys, funny how you describe cancers. But anyways,
whatever.
It's a water sign thing. I don't know.
Whatever sign is the dumb one, that's what sign he is.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I have too much Aquarian in my chart. I'm just like, I have no problem telling people no, because I don't like. I love all of you guys. I don't like people, but I love all of you. But anyways, we had another.
Yeah, the water. He's definitely a water sign. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, he's definitely a water sign. Or air. Can't wait for a modern day Westeros. The goth raves at Dragonstone will be sick as fuck. I want a Westeros style sitcom, like a mockumentary, like kind of like how Modern Family is done, like one of those in Westeros. What time period?
What we do in the shadows.
I haven't seen that show.
Michael David, I'm sorry. I'm so off track here, but Michael David, I knew you were a fire sign. I knew. And now that I see you're a Sagittarius,
it
all makes sense. It all makes sense now.
Ooh, we also got we got a couple super chats, sorry. That does make sense. You're a Sag. Kylo Tech, George wants to do cinematic universe. Can you guys imagine they ever do a show depicting old Valyria at its height? Drool. I need it.
So I was thinking, like, first of all, I would love them to do old Valyria at its height. But I was like thinking, these guys are really paying attention to what we want, because I feel like far and wide, most fans want Valyria. So they're like, you want Valyria, do you? We're going to give you a statue of what Valyria look like. Here it is. You have Valyria.
I totally agree with that. It kind of leads into this next super chat. Who would you want to play Nettles when she shows up in future seasons? And since George wants to expand the world, what story would you want to be shown?
All of it.
Yeah, I saw the prequel that I'm most excited about that I saw being worked on is Corliss's 9 Voyages. So you get to see Ashai by the Shadow. And you get to see all these amazing places and see just how Corlys built his wealth. So I'm here for that one.
I'd want to see
really wanted Nymeria.
1,000 ships.
I think that's still in development, isn't it?
No,
I heard it got canceled.
They canceled it.
Yeah.
R&R.
I either wanted Nymeria or Duncan Egg. Because I love Duncan Egg.
I'm going to tell you what story. Yeah, I want Duncan Egg too. And I think that's where they're going with this. I think they're going to just tell the complete House Targaryen history going forward. When they get to once they get to the end of the dance, they're gonna tell what happens next. They're gonna just keep going, and keep going until they
I
get
really
up to
hope so.
Robert's
I
Rebellion.
think eventually, no, I think they're eventually going to backtrack to the conquest.
Yeah.
I was gonna say at some point they're gonna go back to the conquest to show how it all
Oh.
started.
Oh yeah. I guess for me, I really want to see the Blackfire rebellions.
Girl,
like
same.
that. And
Blood
I
Raven.
okay, so we were kind of fan casting it on Twitter. So sorry to be slightly off topic. I definitely want Orlando Bloom to be in that Blackfire spinoff, and there were multiple options that people threw out that I really enjoyed. But to answer, ooh, sorry, I just looked at our text message chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that on air. But to answer the Nettles question, I know this might be slightly controversial here, but I would like Letitia Wright, that plays Shuri in Black Panther, to play
Ooh,
Nettles, because they
she was
usually
such a good Nettles.
go for like actors that are usually from the UK. If they picked an American actress, my choice would be Taylor Page. But that was in Hit the Floor in the Zola movie. I know a lot of people have said Zendaya, but I love Zendaya, but I'd rather a actual like fully black actress playing Nettles. I mean, as a biracial person, I could say, yeah, I mean, I personally one of those biracial people that feel like you don't just to feel that like you don't always have to cast a biracial person to play a black person. You could just cast an actual fully black person to play a black
Right.
person.
Yeah.
Which is, even though I do think Nettles has some Valerian ancestry in there, I think Letitia Wright would be a cool choice.
Honey, the Zendaya is busy. She's recording.
That
she's
too.
filming Dune 2, like the second part of Dune. She's shiny. I don't
Yeah.
think they can afford Zendaya.
I don't either. And then she has Euphoria on top of that. That girl stays booked and busy.
Euphoria's done. I'm rather certain. No, okay, everybody's railing on all the actresses, but since we're getting off topic, I looked it up, and the guy that plays Kristen Cole, Fabian Frankel, he is French and Iraqi.
And his dad's name is Mark Frankel, and that's what I was oohing at a few
Yeah.
minutes ago.
So anyway, this scene, Viserys and his busted ass dragon that got unbusted.
Yeah, and his
So
conversation. With
Yep. So he
Alicent.
talks. Yep. So he talks with Alicent. Essentially, we kind of talked about it earlier, where he's like, "I'd rather face Black Dread than talk to my daughter." Blah blah blah. She scares me. Teenagers. And that leads Alicent to maybe try to be the peacemaker there. And we see her approach Rhaenyra, and they go to the Sept. And I really like this scene between Rhaenyra and Alicent, even though I feel like oh my gosh, I knew you were going to bring up the dress. I have a better shot of the dress later on.
I
I'll pull up the better shot.
I rewatched the episode and I was not wrong. She wore it 3 days in a row, which I think I do think Viserys banged her that night, but I think she wore that dress 3 days in a row, not just the walk of shame sort.
That's so trifling.
I mean, it makes sense because back in that time period, it was more realistic for people to repeat their garments often because they weren't mass produced like we have now.
Okay, there's
also she's not the heir and she's the Hand's daughter, and it's like she's a second, like he's a second son. So it's like the Hightowers, like they got money, but they're not like Lannister papered up. So to me, it makes sense that she would repeat it.
I thought the Hightowers were rich. You'd think her uncle could afford to like buy her goddamn dress. She's a court.
And that material does not breathe. You know she was musty.
Right.
Smelling she looks stunning.
She does.
She does.
Like, she does. I just need to know why she's the only character that did not change clothes for 3
Yeah, she did. She didn't. And that's trifling. But
what if her same wardrobe is about her anxiety?
I like this comment.
She ran out of her mother's dresses. That's the last.
Maybe that is her mom's dress.
Oh, she could have at least mixed it up. I liked that first one she wore, even though her dad was like, wear the dress, and it creeped me out. But I like that first one with the sheer sleeves.
Yeah.
We are so off fucking topic.
Well, I want to
again.
say about
We
this
thought the
scene with the
screenshots would help.
candles. The scene with the candles, like
I really
the
like
whole
candles.
scene, the weepings, like the overhead shot, all of those shots, like that cinematography was bomb. It reminded me so much of the House of the Undying.
Ooh,
So
I mean, not the
scene-
House of the Undying, the House of Black and White. Sorry.
I know
the
what you
scene
meant.
with Alicent that comes before this, when Viserys is like, "You don't tell Rhaenyra about our conversations, do you? About our talks?"
Oh,
And
yeah.
right
hated
after
that.
Alicent tells Rhaenyra, like, "My dad sucks at talking to girls too, so like maybe you should talk to your dad." I think she was trying to get them to talk so that maybe she wouldn't have to keep hiding it from Rhaenyra. I think she felt really guilty about it, not telling her.
I think so as well. And it makes sense. Like she's kind of like trying to play mediator between the essentially the king and his daughter because she has that bond. And they said it earlier in the show, and I'm not sure if we mentioned it here. There's about a 6-month time jump between the end of episode 1 and episode 2. So it's about
So
6
she's
months.
been visiting the king for a while.
Yeah, so she's been
Quite a
seeing him,
while, yeah.
and I'm assuming it's probably like an everyday thing that they probably have like maybe lunch together, and she reads to him. Or I don't know. It kind of reminds me of
Well, and
Jaehaerys.
her mom is dead too, so
Yeah.
Rhaenyra is probably latching onto her a lot for support because Viserys has barely spoken to her for 6 months.
Yeah.
I think he feels guilty for what he did.
He's a bitch.
He should.
Off his head.
I hope he does.
Also, before we move on, I just wanted into the scene. I did want to point out the super chat because it's funny. Jorah wore the same outfit for 3 seasons, and
Okay, let me just change
he
my armor
visibly-
like underwear.
And he
Absolutely
visibly looks musty. Like Jorah visibly
Yeah.
looks musty as hell.
It
There's
looks like if you
pee-pee
touched
stains
him, it
in
would
his
stick.
shirt. Yeah, there's a reason he got grayscale. I mean, come on.
There's a reason Danny would never.
Well, and they
Yeah.
were like crossing grasslands and desert. Like there wasn't exactly a boutique he could stop in and grab some new
True.
clothes.
That's true.
Right.
that is very true.
We're
I
talking
would
about a
not want to
rich
see
girl
him.
at court.
No, I wouldn't want to see the clothes afterwards too. He'd take them off and they'd still be standing there. It'd be disgusting.
But when you think about Alicent's dress, like the king is about to announce his betrothal to you, and you stand there in a soiled dress that's 3 days old. Girl, bye.
Right.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Probably got cum stains all over it.
Well, okay.
Monica
But look,
Lewinsky.
listen,
But,
listen. Look at her dad, though. He doesn't trim his beard. His
Oh
hair
my
is always
god, what
disheveled.
is up with his hair?
I don't know. It
Little
looks like.
spots
Do you
of
know what it
pubic hair on
reminds
his
me of?
face?
Remember in the labyrinth, the chili down birds,
No.
the ones that like
Yes.
take
Oh
off their
my God,
limbs and
yes.
like play putt putt with their own heads. That's what his hair reminds me of. Chili down birds.
Yo.
Chili down with your papa. Okay.
Oh my god, Michael David.
Sweet
Don't
sounds.
say that word in our chatting.
I would throw that up there, but I don't know if I can.
No.
But,
What
I would
is schmeg?
don't say it. Don't say it.
What is it?
We'll talk about it
Dick
afterwards.
Educate
Quick
me.
thought
No.
said- quick
For the
thought
listeners
said-
that don't know what that is.
It's dick cheese.
Oh.
Quick
Yeah.
thought said that
I'm
3 days
sorry, I've
Carry
never
on.
been with a man that had dick cheese and did not know prior. Gross.
Okay, so
Dick
topic at
Ugh.
hand.
Yucky.
I was trying to say quick thoughts comment, but at the dick cheese part just threw me off.
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of this scene here, actually, when they're talking and Alicent mentions like, "Oh, your dad loves you, Rhaenyra," blah blah blah, and he named you heir, and Rhaenyra's like, "My dad only named me heir to spurn Daemon." I like that she's very self-aware of that fact because let's be
Mhm.
honest.
That's not what she communicated to Rainey's. They were trying to.
Oh, well,
Man.
yeah, she's not gonna mention it to Rainey's because she just thinks Rainey's is just being like that
bitch.
salty, bitchy older aunt, even though Rainey's is the only person telling her the truth.
And she probably feels some type of way about Rainey's because I'm sure she knows preemptively before it's ever even brought to her attention that Lena is gonna be the replacement.
And it's funny you say that because that was the next scene. We have this proposal. in the I was gonna say in the garden. We had this proposal in the garden of, you know, Rainey. I just want to say Rainey's is like such a straight shooter because in this scene too, when before they even like get to their like what they're actually there for, which is hey, you should marry our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of tell Viserys like, look, the realm's looking weak. Your brother, who was disinherited, was allowed to seize Dragonstone and has not been dealt with. You named daughter as an heir to the throne, which no one has ever done. The stepstones, they're running amok over there, and you again haven't done anything about it. And then he's just like, oh, so thanks for telling me how I'm doing such a good job. And Rainey's just like, this is the truth.
It's true, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how he said you're my favorite cousin? Is there like any other cousin that they effing feature that is,
There's no other cousin.
it's not like she's running a race with anybody else.
Right. Thanks for pointing out the obvious. I'm your only
It's
cousin.
like when my kids say you're my favorite mom. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Right.
I'm the only
My
one
mom.
there is. So
My mom does that with me. She's like, you're my favorite daughter. I'm like, I'm your only daughter. Okay, Scar. Like, this is not the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Just my
Chrissy,
kid.
good point. Sarah's kids. I mean, yeah, but they don't. Yeah, I mean, they're the kids that live across the country. They're the cousins that you
Right.
don't see often. Maybe at the family reunion that one time. In
they
the
saw
Great
him at the
Council
Great
101.
Council, and that was it.
Yeah.
Pedro said Ama was his cousin. Well, she wasn't his favorite because he killed her.
I mean, oh, good point. That
All my
was
faves are
excessive.
dead. Yelling from the edge. Okay.
I actually wanted to kind of go into this a little bit because I've been seeing a lot of people. Actually, my dad had to call me and ask me about this too, and he was like, "So was his only option really a 12-year-old girl? Like, is that it? Like that's it?" And I was like, "No, obviously there were other ladies
14-year-old
available."
girls.
Yeah, there's 14-year-old girls actually, but like no, there's other ladies out there in the kingdom. However, let's go by proximity. They don't have the internet. It's not like he has like a dating app, like Westeros version of like Tinder or something where you can just swipe to see who his matches are.
TargaryensOnly.com.
Oh my god, TargaryensOnly.com, literally. But
It's precedent that House Targaryen and House Valerian intermarry. They're the two only families from Valyria.
Right.
They have
the most valid choice.
Yeah. Now she was 12. Okay. Whatever. This is what like I get it. It's disgusting. It's gross. This is not the time. This is not the place we live. This is not a real place. But marrying that young was like real. England, all that shit.
Right.
That shit was real. So if it wasn't going to be Lena, it did not necessarily need to be 14-year-old Alicent Hightower. It could have been another girl from another great house.
Right.
Exactly.
But still, none of them would have been as profitable to the crown as Lena.
As Lena.
Yeah, and again, like you said, obviously it's gross. She's a child, but for members of like royalty and nobility, especially in like this context, women were used unfortunately as political maneuvering pawns. Like your marriage wasn't out of love, it was out of duty to your family to build alliances. So that's why they mentioned throughout this episode a couple times, like, there was a rift between the two Valyrian houses, House Velaryon, we have here, and House Targaryen. Marrying Lena fixes that.
Yes.
So politically, it's a good idea. Also, I know I've said it before, but when Lena pulls up in 2 years' time ish, which sounds disgusting that I'm saying that out loud, but when Lena grows up and matures a little bit, Viserys is gonna be so mad because she just like that shot we have of her in the trailer when they're walking in to the wedding.
She looks better than the bride.
She looks radiant. Like she just looks, and then we know she's gonna pull up on who she pulls up. So just imagine she just comes through and just like rah, and then it's this beautiful like Lena coming down. Like you could have had this, but you had that bitch that doesn't even ride dragons instead. But it's cool.
So I saw someone on Twitter ask, well, why didn't they just offer Laenor to Rhaenyra then? Rhaenys kind of summed it up pretty well in a few scenes after this. Like, she just does not believe Rhaenyra is going to see the Iron Throne. So for them, it's just kind of like, okay, put Laena into the succession.
Yeah,
Or put Lena's children into the succession.
because
So-
Lionel's. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say to corroborate your point a little bit. Lionel Strong even says it like nothing's going to satisfy Corlys and Rhaenys besides a direct line into the throne.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and like Lena is a lot older in the books, right? She's older
Yes.
than Rhaenyra, right?
Yeah, so the way they played with the
Couple years.
ages in the show, Lena is actually the appropriate age
To marry.
is the appropriate age as she is in the book. She's 12 in the books at the time of the proposal. Viserys has been aged up. Viserys is not this old in the books. If I'm not mistaken,
okay.
Isn't he
like
in his 30s?
He's in his 30s at this time, which is still ill, but not as old as he is here. Rhaenyra is also younger than Lena. Alicent is also older than all of them.
I think
Yeah.
she's only like
Alicent's
6 years older.
9
Oh.
years older than Rhaenyra.
Oh.
Yeah. So Lena and Laenor are the right ages. It's just everybody else around them, their ages got all sorts of screwed up. Which
in the show, she looks younger than 12. She looks like 7.
Yeah, I thought she was like 8.
yeah, she's supposed to be 12, and I'm like, that does not look
She
like a
does not look
12-year-old.
You know what it is? You know what? I think that there are going to be flashbacks going forward. They're going to use the same younger actors and probably seasons to come. I think if they want to do little Lena, they need to, or like younger Lena. Yeah.
Give her room to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to say this quick. Thank you to Jenna S. The Valarians have the best clothes. Agreed. Like, look
They
at them.
definitely switched their outfits.
They're
'cause
rich as
sneaky.
fuck. They're rich as fuck.
Wait, this is funny. Rainey's, I can't believe they chose this useful idiot over me. I agree.
Yeah.
That's all I could see in this scene. She's just like, this guy's so freaking stupid.
Yeah.
She would have been a good queen.
She would have.
She'd have been great. We'd have avoided so much mess.
She has a spine. At
And
least.
she is also a granddaughter of good Queen Alisha.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows her stuff. I don't have a picture for the scene that's after this because it was disgusting and I didn't want a picture of it on my
The maggots.
The maggots, yes. the maggots that were on. So I should have pulled up the old picture. So in the last episode, we saw Rhaenys, oh my gosh. We saw Viserys, this fella, cut his pinky finger on the throne. That cut in the past 6 months festers and it starts blackening his fingers.
You'd think he would take this as a sign to maybe bring his brother back to court.
Or that Maester Malos is a dummy and doesn't know what he's doing.
He's an idiot.
Like
He is an idiot.
like, last nerves. But I wish I pulled up the picture because this is when he tells Otto and Melos this proposal, and it was like, and that's when Otto's like, "Oh, Lord Corlys overreached himself. This needed to be discussed in the small council." I was like,
the way he was like, the way he was
black, sir.
That's the only time he's seen like he's okay. The reason that is it Rhys Ifan?
something like
It doesn't
that.
matter.
Luna Lovegood.
He
yeah.
plays, as much as I hate Otto, I feel like Rhys plays him so well because he's really good at undermining people, manipulating people, all that other stuff with stoicism. However, the times he looks shook are so funny to me. And in this episode, there were 2 times he looked shook. Obviously, when Caraxes came out and he was like, sheath your fucking steel. And when all Viserys had to do was be like, yeah, Corlys made an offer of his daughter. And Otto was like, and we all know Corlys isn't overreaching himself. He married a Targaryen woman. So Lena has Targaryen blood. Like, how dare he? The way he treats the other Targaryens. Oh my.
Lionel Strong says it the best. Like, what's not to like? She's Valyrian blood. She's half Targaryen. And her family's the richest fucking family in Westeros. What's not to like?
And it'll keep the realm happy.
Yeah.
And Melos does the same thing in this scene, that scene with Otto, him, and he's like, because what does Otto say? He's more or less like, well, I don't envy you because when my wife died, the last thing I wanted to think about was remarrying anybody. Oh my gosh, and have to marry for duty instead of, and just leaves it at that, because like, we know what you're trying to incept the idea that he should marry your daughter out of love, quote unquote, rather than marrying Lena, which is politically the best idea for him to do.
Yeah. Otto knew that Viserys was pliable enough, or whatever the fucking word is, where he could work his daughter in there. And I feel like it was his plan the whole time. I feel like I feel like he was going to try it with the old king, but he was probably like, yeah, well, this won't last long enough. He's about to die. So let's plot on the heir and not the old king.
That's a great point.
And I feel like it's Sir Otto going to Dragonstone. When we get there, like Sir Otto going to Dragonstone and Viserys not, but Sir Otto being like, I'm not going to allow you to go to Dragonstone. Yeah, because you don't want Daemon to talk some sense into his brother. And I feel like that's one of the reasons that he hates Daemon, because Daemon could have unfoiled his bullshit. Mm-hmm. And Daemon does try to, but Viserys is blind to it.
Do we still think Daemon fucked Alicent?
No. I don't at this point, no.
No.
After seeing how young Alicent was, because I didn't know she was 15 at this time. But
she's not his type. The guy has a type.
She is boring. She doesn't, other than being anxious, she doesn't have a personality type.
His types, the women that he's been with so far that we know of. Let's see. Lena. Oh, we can't say. We can't say.
Good job. Yeah. I was about to say just Miss Arah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so Miss Arah, a wizard.
Who is
so gorgeous, we have I just want to say we have a super chat from the movie buff. I want to thank you. The only reason, and the very, very only reason I am not pulling it up here to thank here is because there is a big spoiler in it, and unfortunately not all of our listeners have read the books. So I feel like if I pull it up, it's going to give away a huge
comment
plot
is
point.
It?
The green
it's for the super chat from the movie buff. I just want to say thank you. To answer your question, very probable. It's very probable. Like very probable in my opinion. Like soup's probable.
But hello, ladies. That's how I read the next super chat. Sorry. I had an ADHD moment. Thought you guys were following me. Okay.
Oh, that's fine. I'll bring this one up. Actually, thank you. Hello, ladies.
Can I read it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. I just want to say hello, ladies. Huge fan of your channel and insights. Which dragons are you most looking forward to see in the series going forward? And what?
He says, and why is it Vhagar?
I want to see this dragon that's falling apart. I am morbidly fascinated by this damn dragon that's falling apart. Also, how do y'all like the Valyrian world building?
I
love it.
I will say it is Vhagar, and I want to see Vhagar because she's the oldest dragon, the biggest dragon, and she's
horrid.
Yeah, it's Visenya's fucking dragon, and Visenya is like my favorite Targaryen. Also, I love the Valyrian world building, and it does make me think because they are doing so much Valyrian world building that they may be doing a Valyrian centric show.
Do you know what old Vhagar reminds me of? You know
Tell
that
me.
TV trope where somebody has this like old school hero that's just like, you know,
Has one eye.
abs and rippling pectorals and all that, and then you actually meet this hero once they've aged, and it's just his old man that's like, and it's just anticlimactic. That's how I feel about Vhagar.
Never meet your
That's
heroes.
it's just like the glory days are gone. Are gone.
Make our little.
I'm looking forward to seeing Sunfire because I'm trying to figure out, not that Sunfire is my favorite, fuck Sunfire, but I want to see how they're going to make this dragon more beautiful than Cyrax.
Yeah.
I want to see Silverwing because I love Alicent.
I want to see all of them. I
Yeah,
really
truth
want to
be
see
told.
the cannibal. Like, I really want to see the cannibal.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get to see him in that episode.
Well,
but
I've already seen Caraxes, and I am very much enjoying this Valyrian world building. I think it's fascinating. I love it. I love Valyria. I even I want one of those models that Viserys has. Like, I just want one of those in my living room.
I can see
I
you
think
with
it would
like a
be
train
freaking
going around
amazing.
it.
I
Under your
would.
tree,
I would
under your
turn
Christmas
into a
tree.
train guy. I'd get one of those little fucking hats. Like, I would do it. I want a Valyrian model.
Let's make that happen. We also have another super chat from Philip Blackfire. I could never fly a dragon and have a motherfucker that does not fly a dragon saying a damn thing to me, especially Otto's hoe ass.
Right.
Hey,
Exactly.
You
for
could
real.
not give me a dragon. No, you could not give me a dragon.
Nah, I would not be
I would
responsible.
constantly walk around with an entourage that plays certain songs and music when I walk into a room. I would be so goddamn full of myself if I rode a dragon. You have no idea. And
If
for
I
someone
had
else,
it,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I had a dragon, the whole fucking world would be on fire. Don't give me a dragon.
Yeah, I would not be responsible with that kind of power. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I did want to talk about before I forgot about it. This scene.
I'd go to Sweden.
But baby, I'm in Sweden. How did you get to Sweden?
I'm sorry.
Oh, actually, we get this shot of the model, and we see Rhaenyra and Viserys having dinner.
Do you remember
I wanna
that
say it that way.
Eminem song?
Yes.
When he talks
No.
about being in Sweden and MJ.
Me and
knows.
Alisha, yeah, me and Alisha are on the phone.
Is it
and
Mockingbird? Is that the one?
I have no
No,
idea.
it's When I'm Gone.
Oh,
Baby,
yeah,
I'm in
When I'm
Sweden. How did you get to Sweden? I need to stop.
Oh my god!
Follow you, Dad.
Alisha. You said you wasn't leaving.
Hey, I'm stopping now.
All right, Arah, I'm sorry.
You
You see,
lied,
I'm like,
Dad.
I wish you guys could see my face right now. I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry.
And now you make
Arah.
mommy sad. And I bought you this coin. It says #1 dad. Okay. That's all I wanted. I just want to give you this coin. Okay, I'll stop. I'm really stopping now. Okay.
Okay, Alisha, you're done.
I'm muted.
Are you done?
I'm sorry. Okay.
Are you sure? Are you gonna compulsively break out Eminem lyrics again? Well, speaking of dads, I guess I'll find that as a second. Rhaenyra and her papa are having a dinner.
Segue. I'm so good at this. Okay.
Look at you. So they're having dinner. Essentially, they kind of just, talk about her mom very briefly, about her choosing Kristen Cole, and as well as her trying to apologize for her dad, but also telling her dad, like, not only like is she kind of like sorry for her outburst, but at the same time, she's trying to, I guess, get her dad to start seeing her as his heir and letting her start having opinions and counsel. But he kind of dismisses her before she can even like get the thought out. He's like, "No, it's good. You don't have to apologize. You're just a kid." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but it's like that was the perfect teaching opportunity for Viserys. Like, okay, ask her what she meant by sending you guys. Like, what did she think it would accomplish? Ask her some questions. Like, don't cut her off. Now is the perfect time for you to teach her. And I think that them being horrible parents is what starts a lot of this shit. Because like with Sansa and Arya, like their septa doesn't really do a good job of teaching Sansa what the fuck to do. Like politically, she knows to smile and say yes, and like the Hound says, all the things, like repeat shit like a bird. But they'd never teach them like how to
Think.
read situations or to think for themselves. And we know with this situation, without saying spoilers, if this situation that is going to arise was handled when they were at this age and younger, there wouldn't have been so much bad blood.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I definitely think this was a missed opportunity for him to teach her, which kind of goes to show what Damon said. I believe it's later in this episode when he's like, "Oh, my brother's not really quite good at being king,"
Yeah.
and this has been the perfect teaching opportunity. But at the same time, Viserys kind of recently became the heir, so he wasn't really groomed for the position, which kind of ties into that Sansa point you were making, where Ned himself, like, he was the second son, he wasn't really supposed to be the heir, and they get thrust in these positions of power, and they weren't really trained on how to handle that.
Yeah.
So I feel like Viserys doesn't really have a good example, but at the same time, it's like, your dad was the hand of the king for mad long. You definitely should have been paying attention a little bit more.
For sure. Push out. But I don't think they allowed her, like how Rhaenyra gets to be like pouring cups. Like, I know Rhaenys said it as like a dig at her, but they say that he has her pouring cups and sitting at the base of his throne to learn.
Well, in the books, he made her cupbearer after he made her heir.
Right.
I think that it was kind of evident in the show she was cupbearer before she was ever heir, but I think one of the points of being cupbearer is to learn.
Yeah, I wonder what Bobby B was trying to teach Lancel. Your mother's a whore. Did you know?
Did you know that? Sorry, that was more Sean Connery than Mark Addy, but you know, well,
vibes. We do have some more super chats. I wanted to say a quick thank you. It would make sense if the rogue prince, who apparently likes maidens, deflowers his enemy's daughter, though. Damon hit it first. Oh, this was regarding Alice and Damon. I don't know. I don't think he did it.
Yeah, I don't think that would pique his interest.
Yeah, it's not the same. I think
Allison
embarrassing
would be too anxious to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Agreed.
She's a nervous little bird.
Yeah, she is. We also have another super chat. Thank you from Carl Woodlayer, Jean Luis. Just because this is awesome. Oh, thank you.
It was my rapping skills.
Probably, most likely. And oh wait, he taught Lancel to get the breastplate stretcher.
What, I mean, like, what even was that?
So
Poor
funny.
Lancel.
Lancel's such an idiot. I love him though. But I'd say moving on, because I suppose what time it is. We get to the scene. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier with Lena and Viserys, walking through the garden, having a little chat, and she brings up, Vhagar. We hear Vhagar's sound off a spice town. So,
yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask what do you guys think Vhagar is.
I was gonna say I never knew she was too big for the dragon pit. I don't know how I missed that. I never knew she was like wandering around like the cannibal.
Can we talk about what her song probably sounds like? Because I bet it's like, okay, sorry. I have this headcanon about what her roar sounds like. Because I think her Xyz's roar is like, hey. Vhagar's is probably like not sounding like a song at all.
It
I think
sounds
it's
like
more it's more like the New Jersey elderly woman that smokes 3 packs a day.
Yeah.
It's more like that. Yes.
Such a beautiful song.
I just imagine Vagar just singing kind of like Zazu and Lion King, like, nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
Nobody knows.
my sorrow. Like, just mad sad. Like, oh, poor
do,
baby.
you, do you think that Aemond mounted Vagar the same way that Viserys mounted Balerion, just like this old dumb thing? Like Aemon walking up to him being like, I'm going to mount you now. And Vagar being like,
I don't think so. Like, I don't think so because I mean, yeah, I kind of do. Like, I kind of do and I kind of don't. Like, I don't, like, Vagar is still old or whatever, but she's old. But Vagar is still formidable AF. Like, I remember.
She didn't get fucked up in Valyria.
Yeah, she didn't get fucked up in Valyria, but I'll just say, like, I remember. I can't. It's
Michael David.
Spoiler. It's a fucking
Michael
spoiler.
David said Vagar has got to be guttural because of that fucking turkey flap neck.
Yeah, but Vagar, like, don't sleep on Vagar. Vagar is an old hoary bitch, but Vagar is Vagar. It's Vagar.
It's Vagar.
Oh, hold on. I like this comment from GrayArea Sim. Vagar definitely gonna pop up in the Stepstones, and I'm all for it. I would love to see that.
Okay, is that how Lena would claim him? Would she be there?
I personally think that maybe Lena will have already claimed Vagar, and Vagar, because I believe in the trailer we saw, besides Caraxes, I believe it's Sea Smoke is in the Stepstones. So if we see Lena coming down on Vagar with them, I'm gonna pass out. I'll pass out. I
can't see Corlys letting her, like.
Well, probably not.
She's so young.
She's gonna stow away on Corlys' ship, and she's just gonna hop.
Oh, like a little Arya start.
Like a little Arya.
Well, she's supposed to be willful.
Corlys went on his first voyage when he was 6.
Yeah, but a voyage, and they're going to war in the
Well, no,
right.
think about it. I mean, think about her daughter, Baela. Baela snuck. I mean, granted, Dragonstone was under siege, but Baela, that would be such a move. Okay. Well, not much of a spoiler. Not much. Sorry.
Lena is Arya.
Lena, it would.
Or Araya, sorry, not Arya.
I always say it different ways.
I say area. But Lena would, just because of the way it describes her as a child, or even as a young maiden or whatever, she would stow away on her dad's ship and come along. She would. However, here's the fly in that ointment. That is a long ass time to stow away because wars take time. So unless Vagar showed up on day 1,
I don't know. I just want to see her claim Vagar. Like, I need to see it. I feel like this episode is setting it up for it.
I do want to say, like, Vagar is the only dragon that has been to war. She's the only dragon with war experience. Caraxes doesn't have it yet.
Okay.
I think
y'all gotta stop sleeping on Vagar.
I know. I'm laughing about something else in the comments that gave me this, like, it just, my ADHD mind went, okay, never mind.
So I was gonna say, so while they're having this conversation, by they I mean Viserys and Lena, we do see Rhaenys and Rhaenyra kind of overlooking them, like kind of like, oh, what's going on down there?
One more thing to say about it, though, is when Lena said, it broke my heart. She said, well, my father says I don't have to beg you until I'm 14.
Mother.
Broke my heart. She just was just like, yeah.
It was her mom.
It was very upsetting. I didn't like it.
I didn't like that
the
either.
world that she's being forced, the life that she's being forced into at this point.
I think she handled herself very well, though.
But here's one thing I love.
Which makes
here's
it
one
even
thing
more
I
sad.
love how much Viserys knows Rhaenys because she's like, we'll make a good match and I'll give you many pure Valyrian sons and da da da, you know. And so Viserys says, is that what your father told you to tell me? And she just stares at him and he's like, well, what did your mother say? Because that's going to be the more straightforward answer. And that's when she was like, that I don't have to bed you till I'm 14. I love that Viserys was like, okay, now give me the honest answer. What did your mother say? That you're old and crusty and dusty, and I don't have to worry about it for another 2 years, essentially.
As we could see, Rhaenys is probably... I wonder if Rhaenys heard... Well, I doubt Rhaenys heard that, but imagine if Rhaenys heard that and was like, yeah, I said it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we kind of talked about this scene a little bit earlier with Rhaenyra and Rhaenys about how essentially Rhaenys is like the only one that gave it to Rhaenyra straight.
Yeah.
And was
Yeah,
like,
because she's the
ew.
only one that would have any kind of experience in this area.
And Rhaenyra
And
is
she
like,
knows, and they both know. Rhaenyra knows that, but for one decree that could be easily overturned, she is Rhaenys.
Exactly. And then I know we talked about this a little and we're kind of running a bit long here. I wanted to get to this scene briefly. This is when Alicent gifts Viserys, you know, his fixed little dragon.
why mend it? Why not just make another one? I don't get
Because
how
I can fix you.
I can fix him. That, and I feel like it's her way of showing how attentive and thoughtful she is. And it's funny because they're having this conversation.
She's missionary between two people who don't know how to stroke.
Oh my God, Alisha.
She is not.
She is, though.
But I will say she essentially, this is like in the scene, they're having a conversation regarding the match between Laena. And you could kind of see like on her face, is like, sorry, she, I don't have the picture here. She starts picking at her cuticles when he starts talking about marrying Laena. And I'm pretty 1,000% positive that Otto had the conversation with her at this point. Like, you need to win him over so he can marry you. So I think her hearing about Laena made her start picking her fingers like, oh shit, my dad's gonna be mad I didn't do my job right.
He was so gross about it. Like, she's sitting there trying to get him ready for battle, and he's like, the only thing he has to say about her is, you're the most, right there, you're the most comely girl at court. Why do you destroy yourself?
Yeah,
Damn, Otto feet is big as shit.
and actually, it's funny. So you brought this up, and right before this scene, that's when they had that small council meeting where, well, he interrupts that lunch that Alicent and Viserys is having. It's like, oh, emergency meeting, and we get the Dragon Keepers. Sorry, I didn't have a picture of them pulled up. The Dragon Keepers reporting. You notice they only report in High Valyrian.
Well, they're probably from the Free Cities.
And that actually, I want to get to that. So in the podcast, like their official after the show their official podcast for House of the Dragon, besides this one of the hosts mentioned that the Dragon Keepers are actually the descendants of the original Dragon Keepers that came to Westeros with the Targaryen family. Which makes sense that they would bring members of their own household besides themselves, like besides their family, they'd have, you know, servants, people in waiting.
That's a nice touch, though.
Yeah, I thought that was a great touch, and I was like, I'm assuming because he works with HBO, he gets interviews with the creators and stuff. He probably got it directly from them, but I thought that was really interesting.
The amount of stuff we get right on this podcast.
I
know. Look at us.
Andrew, that one was yours.
It was. Honestly, as soon as I heard it, I sent her a voice and I was like, girl, Brom and Plum, you were right. You were right. But I thought what's interesting in that scene is how in the small council meeting, they're like, oh, Daemon took an egg, blah, blah, blah. And Viserys is kind of like, nah, he's just playing games. And then when Rhaenyra asks, like, which egg did he take? And they say, oh, it was the egg for Prince Balon. You notice Viserys' whole mood changed, and he's like, I'm gonna go deal with it myself.
But this is where I was confused, because I could have swore Amos said in the tub that Rhaenyra picked out one of Vagar's eggs. She said that, right? And then they said it was Dreamfire's in the council.
I thought she said it was an egg that reminded her the most of Vhagar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she wanted,
Makes
if it was a
sense.
girl, she wanted it to be named Visenya.
Yes. Okay.
Right,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
right.
That's true.
So I thought that was very interesting, and how he wanted to deal with it himself. And Alisha, I know you said this on Twitter, but Damon really went through all of that.
I know.
It left a note that said, I'm taking a second wife. I'm on Dragonstone. We're
Dear
gonna get married in 2
I
days.
hate your guts.
I thought it was cute. He's like, "You're invited to our wedding. If you'd like to show up, bro, we'd greatly appreciate it."
He's a troll.
He's
He's
such
a troll.
a
I commented on Alicia's thing, and I was like, I bet if he lived in this time period, he would record himself crying on TikTok. He would also like throw mad subliminals at Viserys on Twitter for sure.
like, dang, when you choose your friends over your family, like something like
But
that. Imagine.
I think Otto went because he couldn't afford them to reconcile.
Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely.
there's no other reason.
And I thought it was very like noteworthy that Viserys wanted to handle the situation himself. But when we get to that scene on Dragonstone, how Sir Otto lies, and when Damon's like, "Oh, where's my brother?"
Yeah. And
He's like,
Harold
"Oh," he would
Westerling is like, what?
side eyeing him because he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, whatchamacallit? What do you say? Like, oh, the king wouldn't lower himself to this mummer's farce," or some stupid Otto quote like that.
Can we talk about how Mysaria looks just amazing?
Her face when Otto was like, "You're not marrying her. I don't care if she's pregnant." Masaria's like,
She's like, I'm what?
"Wait, what? What'd you say?"
Okay, there was a
That's news to
TikTok
me.
I saw this morning when everybody drew the swords.
I saw that.
This guy was watching it on his screen. He's like, everybody start drawing the swords. And he's like, oh, hell nah. And he just pulls out the green straw from his Starbucks cup. Just absolutely, and starts pointing it at Otto Hightower. That's kind of how I would imagine a lot of people felt in that moment. Like, oh, hell nah. You know, and it's funny
From the
because
moment
Damon,
that small council meeting started until after Renee, I was absolutely cackling. I thought this was the funniest sequence ever.
Yeah. When Rainier pulls up and he like hugs the egg all close to him. And he's like holding it all close to him, looking at her. Like, it's so funny.
He is such a youngest child in this scene. And I mean that by like the antagonism. Like I've said it, I'm gonna keep saying it. He's a Scorpio. He goes through great lengths just to get rises out of people. But anyway, the way he was taunting Kristen Cole, and Kristen Cole is basically like, if maybe you remember me knocking you off your horse, and Damon is like, hey, good one. You know, like he's just so unperturbed. And Otto, like, do you know what it was? It was that Rick and Morty scene, like, you will be here in the court on Monday. You'll be here sucking my dick. Like, it's just, it's just that back and forth. Suck my dick, you fuck man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we could say that many times.
Whatever. Okay. It was like that Rick and Morty, where Morty from a different universe or whatever was like, you will be here in the court. And anyway, it was like that, but a whole drawn out scene.
Ooh, quick question for you guys. Sorry. Oh, sorry. What were we gonna say, MJ? My bad.
I was gonna say I feel for Damon, because imagine you really love your brother and you really care about him, and you see these people like taking advantage of him, and no matter what you say to him, he just doesn't see it or doesn't understand or doesn't get it, and you just have to kind of sit back and watch and let them destroy your brother.
It's awful. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. It's not like it sucks because he wants to help his brother, but his brother just doesn't see it. He's just so blind. And just thinks Otto's this like nice guy. And then when Otto finally shows his ass eventually, I think he might start to learn.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring up this comment from Cosa Nostra. Thank you for the super chat. What dragon do you think is in the black egg?
I have a theory.
I've seen people say it's Sunfire. I think that it is Drogon.
Oh, I think it's
Because wasn't okay in Fire and Blood when Alyssa,
She already left.
I know, I'm saying in Fire and Blood. Oh yeah, you're right.
She's
You're
gone.
right. She already took them eggs. I still say Drogon because this is show canon we're talking about.
I think that it is Vermax, Jace's. I think of Rain. Shit. I think it's Vermax. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it's a spoiler. I keep going.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait. Mandy, did you have a guess before I say my guess? Oh, I think she's on mute.
I think that it'll either be the deformed one that tries to kill the baby in the crib.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember which one it is, but I think that one goes back to Dragonstone and then is later removed. And I think they said it was a big black egg.
Mm.
I think
Well, no wonder the way he threw it.
Right? And scrambled it. But I think that one is described as a black egg. So I think that one.
I was considering maybe Vermax, who is Aegon the Younger's egg, which this goes into a spoiler.
Jace.
Vermax?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm confusing. What the hell is Aegon the Younger's dragon's name? I'm so sorry. There's so many freaking dragons.
Stormcloud?
Yeah.
Thank you, Stormcloud. They don't last.
Oh no, is that Luke's dragon? I can't remember. Stormcloud. I think.
Spoiler.
It is Stormcloud. I don't want to get too spoilery. I think it might be Stormcloud just based off of who the parents are, and I think it'd be fitting that the egg ended up with his
Mm-hmm.
Yep, y'all know where I'm going. You
what if we never see the egg again? You guys are gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna be so mad that we just spent this time.
I like that they have like a little car seat for the egg.
Oh, you know what?
It
very well could be Sunfire, because that's another thing that is going to absolutely send Rhaenyra over the edge.
Yeah, it would. If he even gives that to that little baby. That one.
Oh. She will flip shit.
It might be. She's very attached to that egg.
Yeah, she would lose her shit. I did want to bring up this other super chat from Philip Blackfire. I loved how Rhaenyra completely disregarded every bitch of bitching from her father when she walked in. She was like, so your egg is back in the pit and your boyfriend is alive in the Tower of the Hand. You're welcome. That is after the scene here. Can I just say, when Rhaenyra pulls up on Syrax during this scene, like Daenerys's great bunch of numbers grandma come through, like I don't know, was that just me?
Did you see how the cloud like parted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
So
I think Daemon
this
knew
says
exactly.
That Sunfire was born in 120.
Really?
That seems too late.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder. I mean, they have been skipping around with time a little bit around here. And I thought they bonded in the cradle.
I thought so too. But this says that Sunfire hatched on Dragonstone.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. Speaking of Dragonstone, after this scene on the bridge, we get Daemon and Mysaria having this conversation where essentially Daemon's kind of like, Mysaria's like, you kind of like lied on me.
Right.
And you just put me in a bunch of danger, which makes me wonder if, so how in the books it says that, whatchamacallit, she had to leave, like back to Lys, and he was really upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, she had lost a child in the travels. Do you think he just said that to cover up for the fact that he lied about her expecting?
I don't think that he lied about it in the books. He could still very well get her pregnant. But all I can think about right now is how I would trip over that floor every day.
He can't get her pregnant. She already said that she took care of that, meaning she like sterilized herself. So she can't.
That's what she meant. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that floor, I would trip over it every day.
Oh yeah, that looks so uneven.
Jesus. That's
I'd
all I can
roll
think
my
about right
ankles
now.
more times than I like to count.
But no, he did really. She's pointing out to him how very reckless he's being because she's saying, no matter what, you're the king's brother. You're always going to get away with bloody murder. Literally. Literally. You know, and
Right.
she's like, you put me on the chopping block when you announce me, this common born sex worker, as your future wife and the mother of your child. They take care of people like me where I'm from. And I don't even remember where I'm from. Like, she had
Right.
points. I'd be so pissed at him.
Right. I would too. And
I like
it was more that she was like living with him on Dragonstone, probably feeling very much his equal, right, as the lady of the castle. And then he's done all of this without consulting her, talking to her, anything. She probably felt very, very betrayed by that.
I agree. I feel like I like to refer to her as his paramour. I don't like the word that Otto was using. I don't like calling her the W a whore. I like calling her a paramour because it sounds classier.
She is his
And
I thought it
paramour,
was
though.
weird, though, that nobody brought up Damon's bronze bitch. No one.
they mentioned
Rhaenyra did. Rhaenyra
Did
did.
she?
Yes. She said, you already have a wife, uncle. They were speaking in High Valyrian.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah.
He just kind of blows her off.
So after this, we kind of sorry guys, we're trying to wrap the episode here for you guys. We've been here for like almost 2 hours. We get this conversation with Rhaenyra and her papa, where essentially kind of like the last super chat said, she pulls back up home. She's like, I got the egg, your boyfriend's in the tower, like mission accomplished. But I
You're
thought it was very
welcome.
you're welcome. I thought it was very interesting that Viserys was like, you're my only heir, you could have been killed. Why would you think Damon would actually harm your daughter?
Because right before Otto left, he said he's capable of anything. He doesn't have any boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing he won't do. And Viserys is so wrapped up in Otto's asshole that he just believes him, even though he knows his brother probably better than anyone else.
Exactly. Like I highly doubt Damon would have actually put a hand on his niece, let alone his brother. He would not have killed his brother.
Right.
But, choosing that stupid Otto over your brother. Like,
Yeah, he was doing that for his brother's attention because he loves him, not because he wanted to hurt him.
exactly. I wholeheartedly agree. And in this scene, she kind of comes to terms with the fact that her dad does need to remarry. And I think it's kind of sad because I think she also thinks like, yeah, you need to remarry. She's like, okay, he's gonna marry Lena. I guess that's cool. Like I think she
Right. She
with
mentally prepared for that. Like, I can deal with this.
yeah, like okay, I guess I can deal with that. She's younger than me, but in the show she's younger than me. I could deal with that, but then we get this bullshit right after.
I was yelling at my TV screen. Come on, bitch, make eye contact. Soaking in all the betrayal because she's looking everywhere but at Rhaenyra. Everywhere.
And what kills
And
me
she
oh sorry.
finally looks at her, and the look on both of their faces. Ugh.
And the fact that like I'm pretty convinced that like Viserys had his mind made up because why was she in the room if you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty positive he told Otto beforehand, like, hey, yeah, is it cool if I marry your daughter? But that's why
Right.
Otto's all
But
smiling. Allison's
Corlys
there.
and Rhaenyra were the ones that deserved the heads up.
Yep.
Oh, I completely agree with that because I thought he blindsided them. And obviously, Corlys, you could kind of see at first when he's like, I'm going to get married. Corlys is kind of like straightening up, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
He's like,
right.
I'm listening. You have my attention.
He's like, Allison Hightower. He's like, what? Record scratch? Like, excuse me? What? Who?
Yeah.
And I felt him when he left, and then you could see the tears in Rhaenyra's eyes, and that just hurt so much. And then the fact that he calls after her and she just walks out too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Millie Alcock is a very good actress. She's very good at really conveying the exact emotion she wants to convey.
I agree. I
The
think
whole cast has been stellar so far. Love the character,
Yeah.
I hate them. The whole cast has been stellar so far.
Yeah, I'll say I feel like I'm gonna miss the younger actresses like Emily Carey here and Millie Alcock. I'm gonna miss them. So I do hope we get some flashbacks and they pop up again eventually. Since
Yeah.
they're only gonna be in half of season 1, it seems like. But we kind of end the show. I did not have it pulled up here. Sorry, guys. It wasn't part of the slideshow. If you missed the PSA on the slideshow, not having everything on it. But we get Damon and I'm just gonna pull this picture of Damon up. Damon and Corlys talking because they kind of agree, like, know what? Let's do something in the Stepstones because your brother's clearly not going to do anything about it. I'm not standing for this any longer. Your brother doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And Damon's kind of like, that's my brother. You can't talk shit, but I can.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for him.
That was a good scene there.
I've noticed they are really, really trying to set up as much tension as possible between Rhaenys and Viserys and all the people connected to them in between. So what I am going to say is non-spoilery. Objectively, they are very much trying to make you wonder who exactly are going to be the opposing sides during this huge Targaryen civil war that is going to break out.
Because eventually. At this point, if you don't know what's going to happen, there isn't like a big sign like, these are the bad guys. It's very much up in the air still. Like, it could be this person. Look, they got jilted. It could be them. So they're leaving it very ambiguous right now, and I like that.
Yeah, I actually saw a tweet from like a casual show watcher yesterday, actually, I was laughing. He's like, damn, so you go to talk to the, like he's essentially referring to Corlys going to speak to Damon, like, damn, so you go talk to the ops after all that? And I'm like, imagine thinking Damon and Corlys are like enemies is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's also
because like right now they have like this buddy cop vibe going on, which I love.
Yeah, and it's gonna be so fun to watch in like the coming episodes. We did have two quick super chats I wanted to get to before we kind of wrap it up here. From the OG Josh, thank you all for the stream. Always a good time. Hype for episode 3 and next week's stream. Oh, next week's episode looks really good.
It does. I can't wait. I have to, but I can't.
Oh, same. We also have another super chat from Knight of Ice and Fire. Hey, ladies, just showing love. Great show tonight. Thank you. We appreciate you guys coming out
so much
and hanging with us.
So much more than you know. We appreciate it so much because we could not be here doing this if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you so much for hanging out with us every week and supporting us this way. It means the world.
It really does. Also, guys, don't forget to smash that like button as well and subscribe. It helps us, get more people to the Direwolf City fam. So we appreciate all you guys. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we hit a new milestone today.
Yay.
We did. Very excited.
Does anybody want to share their milestone that we
2,000 followers. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
2,000 subscribers. We hit 1,000, 2 weeks ago?
We did.
Yes.
Doubled it. So, fantastic. We appreciate you.
Yes, and we could not do that without, all of you guys' love and support. So again, we really, really, really appreciate it.
If we can get to 3,000 in the next 2 weeks or sooner, what should we have in store for them?
I don't think it should be what we suggested last time, but
that's why I said, what should we do? Because, there was that part of me that was like, we will. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you guys let us know in the comments what we should do if we, hit 3,000 subscribers in the next 2 weeks.
I actually have an idea, and we'll talk about it afterwards, and then we'll post it on our socials if we decide to do so.
Does it involve me doing a dumbass voice?
No.
Okay.
Oh, man. Sad face. But I think that kind of wraps up. I feel like it's hard to make predictions for this show because we kind of know where the story's leading to.
Okay, I did see the preview for next week this time, you guys.
Oh, you
I
did.
did. Yes.
I actually didn't
I
this week.
synced it.
I had to pee really bad, so I ran to the bathroom as soon as it was done.
I did see it, and it looks like shit's about to like pop off. Like, oh, I
I've
can't
just
wait.
seen people talking about it on Twitter. I don't know what it actually entails, so I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Okay, so long story short, it looks like in the previews, Rhaenyra has herself a new younger brother, baby
Oh,
brother.
wow, another big skip. It's
Yes,
like, what,
another
probably
big
2
skip.
years?
Yes, I see that. I see that at first I was a little pissed off because I saw Alicent was wearing red, like Targaryen colors, and I was like, that bitch Carol Baskin. But then I realized it's like they're on a bit of a royal tour. So she would
Okay.
have to wear, so I calmed down after that. But it looks like, Rhaenyra's being, I don't want to just call her an angsty teenager because everything she's feeling is very legitimate. It's very dysfunctional. It is what
Right.
it is. But she also happens to be an angsty teenager. So it kind of looks like they're on a royal progress. And, Viserys says something to her. By the way, they are giving him a balding wig that is balded, snatched, I guess. I don't know. It made me believe like he is balding. Anyway, he says something to her like, sooner than later, you'll have, your own children. And she kind of scoffs at that, which I thought was a very hilarious line for book readers. You're picking up what I'm laying down.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah. But there's another scene. It looks like Alicent might be talking to Rhaenyra in whatever keep they're in their Godswood, and she says something like, "It needn't be this way," or something. So it kind of seemed. Oh, the big one in the preview is Otto is telling Alicent, and she looks very annoyed, and she looks like she's just been ranting to him about something. He said, I'm paraphrasing this first part, but one way or another, we'll seat Aegon, or like Aegon will be named heir, or something. Aegon will be king. So lots of plotting that's going on. Lots of plotting.
Schemes upon schemes. Oh, we do have 2 more super chats I want to get to before we exit for the night. Alisha, Philip Blackfire, thank you again. Just so Alisha could say, "Dreams didn't make us kings." Dragon did in her high heart voice.
Okay, hold on.
I like how you had to like prep.
I love the little moan that comes out as soon as you know you have to do it.
Okay. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
I love it. Thank you for your service, Alisha.
Oh, Dildo
Thank you for your
Baggins
service
is
for the
back.
rest.
Dildo Baggins is back. It's been so long. Okay.
Thank you, Dildo Baggins, for the super chat. Thanks for another stream, ladies. Hope next week's episode is full of drama. Yeah, it is. It looks like we're getting some Stepstones action next week too, so I'm excited to see that.
Oh yeah, that was in the previews too, but yeah.
Yeah, so
we finally get a battle sequence.
Yes, we do. But I feel like I'm not too like, I think just because I know what's to come and we're gonna get so many battle sequences that I'm like, I'm good. I know what we're gonna get to. But I guess for
right, I keep reminding myself that this is just primer.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm here for the plot, being Daemon, of course, but I'm here for more the like intricacies of the political side of everything because it's very, very, very involved. The battles are just kind of there in the story for me because they have to happen. They're inevitable.
Yeah. I'm here for more Beesbury one-liners because I love him and he's hilarious. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us for tonight. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Also, if you want to check out my breakdown of the opening credits, that's linked below and on my channel at iZebra. Gray, if you missed her announcement earlier, her breakdown will be out tomorrow. She actually had to as you guys saw, she had to take off a little early because, she's trying to get that breakdown out for you guys sooner rather than later. But yeah, so, like, sub, share. Any other big announcements?
I'm here.
I'm also here.
All right, so we're here. We'll be here same time next week, same place, check us out. And yeah, good night. And I would be doing the things,
Stay
but you guys
sexy.
can't see me. Oh, that's Tony's thing. We can't steal that.
Oh, damn. Stay sexy, though, you guys.
Yeah.
Sexy little commoners. Peasants.
Just envision me doing the